years old, but lacing my own boots there, I would say I would have to be like 15 years old. I started doing some backyard wrestling in a few little organizations in front of 20 people, 15 people. And then finally, when I hit the age of 17, I took my nerves up and I made my first call to Stampede Wrestling, which is Bret Hart's family,
of course,
the Hart family, and Stu Hart. I called Stu Hart up, and my God, that was such a great experience, because I don't know if I know you know who Bret's father is, Stu Hart, but I don't know if you ever heard him, how he talks and stuff like that.
Yeah, many times, yeah.
You know, he did the first call I made to him. You know, I had no idea who it was. There was two big families in Canada. There was the Harts in the west and the Rougeaus in the east of Canada. And so when I made my first call there, I remember getting on the phone with him against my father's will, because my father thought I was too skinny. He used to call me Bones all the time, my father. And I kept telling him, I'm ready to go wrestle on the road. And he was always telling me, you're too skinny. So finally I decided, you know, like, hey, I went to see my mom instead. And I borrowed $500 from her. And then, so I called Stu Hart and I said, and this is how it went. It was so funny. I said, yes, Mr. Hart. I said, my name is Jimmy Rougeau, because Jacques is my name in French, but my mother was English. She called me Jimmy.
Ah, right, okay.
So I was like, well, this is Jimmy Rougeau, and I'd like to come wrestle for you, you know. So he answers me, says, well, are you are you part of that Rougeau family there? And I said, yes, I am. He said, yeah, your dad there is a tough guy there, huh? And what a character. And
Brilliant.
I'll tell you, but it was amazing, you know. And so finally he told me, he says, yeah, I'll take you in. So I went to Stampede Wrestling, you know, and I was 17 years old. And in those days, Bret was driving the bus. He wasn't even a wrestler yet. So what a great experience. And it was so funny because since he had so much respect for our family in the East, he kind of gave me a little personal attention. Like, you know, he's always taking care of me and stuff. And he would always invite me over on Sundays, it was our day off, to his house. He had a house on the hill, and he had about 15 kids, and he had about 20 cats in the house. And it was amazing. And so I'd have lunch there, and we'd all eat at noon. And then about a couple hours later there, before I head back to my hotel there, he'd always invite me downstairs to his dungeon, you know, where he stretched a few guys.
Oh yeah, I've heard some stories. Yeah, I'm sure you've got some yourself.
And but I was a little smarter than that. I always had something to do. I was always busy. I couldn't make it down there. But, so he stopped inviting me for lunch after a while, when he kind of sized me out there. But what a great experience it was.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant. So fond memories working in Stampede.
Oh yes, my God, it was amazing. Just you know, it was amazing to see, well, my first territory, of course, and landing in, I call it landing into the real world. I was 17 years old. I was just a kid, and then they brought me to this. When I got there, they suggested me this hotel, which was cheap, you know, because we weren't making a lot of money. So I was making, like, I think $285 a week, 250 a week. And I had to pay my hotel, I had to pay my food, I had to pay my trans, you know, 3 cents a mile, you know, and traveling around. And so I went to this place there in downtown Calgary, but not the nicest part of Calgary, you know. And so they had the Indians drinking every night in the streets, and they had the whores that were walking around in front of the hotel. And it was like, wow, you know, I'm 17 years old here, you know, and I'm caught up in this world. It's like, you kind of grow up fast, you know.
Yeah, a bit of a baptism of fire, if you will.
But anyway, it was a great experience. You know, I went there in 77 at the age of 17 years old. And then I came back home for a little run, and Montreal. And then in 78, I went back again.
Fantastic.